we got Jamal Emmers coming in 17-5 versus Timur Valiev. Ooh, that is a beautiful word for an Arkansan. Nikki, drop me some live odds, please.
All right, best case, we got minus 167 on Valiev. He's hovering right over the minus 175, minus 185, then come back at plus 153, right around the 145, all the way up to plus 150.
Nice. Mr. Saptic, if you don't mind popping this one off.
It's not that Jamal Emmers isn't a talented guy. It's just it's very hard to trust him. Even though you can get dog money on this guy and you think, geez, he's got skills. He can wrestle. He can grapple. When you go through his record, not only does he have wins, he has wins over high-level guys. Caio Machado on his record. Corey Sandhagen on his record. Rivaldo Jr. on his record. He when he's at his best, this is a guy that can put it all together. And I publicly backed him pretty good against Giga Chikadze's last time out. And even breaking the fight down, the one thing is, Jamal Emmers might blow this fight for himself if he just chooses to fight a bad game plan. And he did. And that just goes back to his low ring IQ. So I look at Timur Valiev and I think, geez, this is a legitimate prospect. Here's a guy that was signed by PFL, managed by Ali, trains at Greg Jackson's camp, looked good. Surprisingly enough, has that one shocker of an upset loss way back in the day. It was a minus 475 favorite when he lost to, drum roll please, Chris Gutierrez.
There you go.
Beats him in the rematch, and since then he's looked really good. It looks like he's filling into his own. He's only 30 years old. He fights a very smart game plan, and he's actually pretty big for 135 pounds as well. So I think he's got a lot of good things going for him. Whereas against Jamal Emmers, this is at 145 pounds. So Emmers could use that wrestling. Emmers could use that good grappling. Emmers could use his skills. I just have no faith in him to physically put a game plan together that makes it work. So I'm going to go after Valiev here. He's a little bit too big of a favorite considering I'm not writing off Emmers completely, but I do think he's the rightful favorite.
Nice. What you think, Clintus?
I completely agree with everything that Cody just said. Valiev looks like he's the kind of kid that's got all of the pieces. He mixes up his striking real well. I like his heavy leg kicks. He's a little buzzsaw in there, man. He's full pressure, going forward all the time. And even though he is... Now, here's something I want to say. On my podcast, I don't know if I was just red-eyed, blurry looking at my screen and got it wrong, or if Tapology updated it, but I actually thought Emmers was going down a weight class for this fight, when in fact, it's at 145, and the new kid on the block, Valiev, is coming up a weight class to take on Emmers. So that's something that, for me, Emmers being the bigger fighter, having that wrestling opportunity available to him, he's a live dog here, in my opinion, but I don't like the price. I don't think it's wide enough, and like Cody said, he just makes bad decisions, and I try my very best not to bet on fighters that have that low IQ, because you never know when they're going to shit the bed. They do something stupid, they make a terrible choice, and they cost you the fight. So this is still a stay away for me. I almost decided to pull the trigger on Emmers when I realized it was going to be at 145 as opposed to 135, but I still kind of feel like Valiev is going to be the right type of UFC caliber guy to come in here and win his debut. It could be close. It also could be very close, very hairy. I'm just going to kind of stay away from it and avoid this one, in my opinion, but I do think Valiev will have enough to get this thing done.
And I think we missed that line on Emmers anyways. I think it was at plus 250 it opened at, and now he's sitting around whatever it is now. You know what I mean? The line movement is in Emmers' favorite. Since that loss, we were talking about Chris Gutierrez, rallied off 6 wins, and they're against guys with pretty damn good records. He's that kind of fast twitch muscle kind of fighter. He's not very methodical whatsoever. Very, very athletic. I've seen him throw like Superman-ish type flying knees. I mean, I really like this guy. He's explosive. He got a great head and arm throw I saw in one of his last fights, and good kicks along with great grappling. Emmers, on the other hand, I don't know, man. He lost his debut against Giga. Do you think he won that fight against Giga, Emmers? Or do you think
totally biased as having money on him? I did think he beat Giga, but there was
I didn't bet it, and he beat Giga.
Yeah, I thought he won the fight. I thought he had, but the why I wasn't upset with why I lost is that he could have beaten Giga so much more convincingly.
Yeah, if he would have done what he did in the second round, he came out in the second round, used his grappling, took him down. It was all Emmers, and then he comes out third round striking with him again.
And you know what? You want to talk about Jamal Emmers? Look at his last 4 losses, right? Ray Trujillo, 17-14 journeyman. He's beating him, and then he gets caught in a triangle. It's like, he's a huge favorite. He's beating a journeyman, and he just made a bad mistake and got caught in triangle. But he got finished, by the way. His next loss against Thiago Moises, it's a 5th round stoppage, but he gets finished. The fight against Julian Erosa, he looks good. until he gets booted lopside the head. And then he got stung by Giga. Giga hurt him in that fight. So, yeah, he rallied, and I thought he won. I wasn't impressed with his performance, as George St. Pierre would have said once upon a time. But also, it's like he had been finished all 3 of his prior fights. So when we do get to the DFS side of things, if you are backing Valiev, just like Clint said, he's a pressure fighter that likes to get in the pocket and throw. And Jamal Emmers has
his ground and pound is no joke, too.
Yeah, when things start to go left for him, I'm not saying he's looking for a way out. I'm saying he'll just make a bad mistake at some point, and that'll lead to his demise. So it's very important to look at.
Yeah, it's his fight IQ. It's not great at all by any means.
Yeah, but he's got the skills to win it, and he used to fight at 155, and he's fighting a guy that used to fight at 135. He's got the skill. He is a live dog, but I can't back him as a live dog. Because of the suspect ring IQ, and we've all been on the same page on that. It's a little difficult to back him, although I will agree, theoretically, if he had a great game plan and he's not going to stick to it, even if his coaches drew him up on. I'm sure they have before. Yeah, I got to stay away from Emmers.
And Cody, we missed the line too, right? Plus 250. He opened it, I think, almost a plus 300-ish around there, 250, and now he's at a plus 150-ish. We missed $1. You can't miss $1. You stay away. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If it keeps going down, I'm going to bet Valiev.
There you go. Right there, you go. So,
what you think about it, Brady?
Yeah, I think Emmers is live in a way, but like you guys said, his fight IQ is awful. Like, he could have easily beat Giga Chikadze there. All he had to do was take him down in that first round. When he finally went for a takedown, it was 7 minutes into the fight, and he got it easily. So I don't really understand this guy's fight IQ. It's someone who he seems to take the first round off a lot, and you don't want to do that against a guy in Valiev. So this is one of those fat fights for me. I think the dog is kind of live, but just not going to bet the other side.
There you go. He's fapping. New to the crew. He's fapping.
Yeah, just to close out the breakdown part, I'm on Mr. Valiev as well. I just think that Emmers doesn't have the fight IQ, and it's hard to put your money behind somebody that doesn't have the best fight IQ. Timur looks like he might be the real deal. Decent switch high kick, comes up real fast. Nice level changes. Once he gets people on the ground and their backs against the cage, he likes to do that Khabib wrist ride, try to bring people back down, stay on top of them. So we're gonna go Timur on this. Mr. Brady, on a DraftKings side, how is this looking for you, brother?
I kind of like both sides of this in a way. Both these guys throw a lot of output. In Emmers' fight, he threw about 5 strikes per minute, and we all see in Valiev's fights, he's throwing a lot. So I think this fight, whoever wins has a good chance of ending up on the optimal lineup. And like Cody said, like, Emmers has been finished before, and I think Valiev might be able to finish him. So at 8,400, I think it's a good price. And also, there aren't many underdogs on this card, in my opinion. So even a shot on Emmers at 7,800, he's live. It's not the prettiest play, but if he does get it done, he's probably going to throw a lot of volume, maybe get a takedown or two. So don't hate that.
So you got 10 lineups. How many would you put him in, and how would you put Emmers in?
Maybe like 2 each. I'm not overly excited to put this fight in my DraftKings lineups. There's a lot more that I want to target more, but I think this could be like a sneaky fight to target on DraftKings.
Okay.
You got any thoughts on it, Cody?
Yeah, no, I agree. Pretty much I'll hit all the points. I think Valiev's live because personally, if I think he's going to get the victory and I think he's going to be able to throw up significant strikes, he's got a good ground game. He can score multiple ways. But also I got a nagging suspicion that this could be a situation where he catches Emmers late in the second, maybe in the third round, and gets a finish on top of that. So I think it's a great price point, $8,400. He's very live for me in my lineups.